Computation of withholding tax on compensation income. In general, every employer making payment of compensation shall deduct and withhold from such compensation a tax determined in accordance with the prescribed withholding table as published under RMC 1-2018. Here is the withholding tax table effective January 1, 2018 to December 31, 2022. Components of withholding tax table. Column 1 pertains to the following details: payroll period, compensation range, and prescribed withholding tax. For the columns 2 to 7, this show the tax due for each of the compensation range identified. Steps to determine the amount of tax to be withheld. Step 1. Determine the total monetary and non-monetary compensation paid to an employee for the payroll period, monthly, semi-monthly, weekly, or daily, as the case may be, excluding non-taxable benefits and mandatory contributions. Classify taxable compensation into regular and supplementary compensation. Regular compensation includes basic salary, fixed allowances for representation, transportation, and other allowances paid to an employee per payroll period. Supplementary compensation includes payments to an employee in addition to the regular compensation, such as commission, overtime pay, taxable retirement, taxable bonus, and other taxable benefits with or without regard to a payroll period. Step 2. Use the appropriate table and select the applicable payroll period. Step 3. Determine the compensation range of the employee by taking into account only the total amount of taxable regular compensation income and apply the applicable tax rates prescribed thereon. Step 4. Compute the withholding tax due by adding the tax predetermined in the compensation range as indicated on the column used and the rate of tax on the excess of the total compensation over the minimum of the compensation range. Illustration. Ms. Lin, an employee of MAG Corporation, is receiving regular monthly compensation in the amount of $165,000 net of mandatory contributions with supplemental compensation in the amount of $5,000 for the month. Classify taxable compensation into regular and supplementary compensation. In this illustration, the regular compensation amounting to $165,000 and the supplementary compensation amounting to $5,000. Use the appropriate table and select the applicable payroll period. The payroll period in our illustration is monthly, and the compensation range of Ms. Lin by taking into account only the total amount of taxable regular compensation income of $165,000 falls under the column 4, which is $66,667 to $166,666 with prescribed withholding tax of $10,833.33 plus 30% of the excess over $66,667. By using the monthly withholding tax table, the withholding tax is computed by referring to compensation range under column 4, which shows a predetermined tax of $10,833.33 on $66,667 plus 30% of the excess of minimum compensation range plus supplemental compensation amounting to $103,333, which is $30,999.90. As such, the withholding tax to be withheld by the employer shall be $41,833.23.